Merry Christmas!
Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
Merry Christmas,
Have
everybody.
a good Christmas.
Hope you what?
Pretty
Hope
much.
your Christmas is going well.
Quiz moise.
And if you took time to listen to this on Christmas Eve,
Thank
you're
you.
the real MVP. And thank you.
If you did, comment.
Yeah, if you did comment,
And
that would be
tell
cool.
us.
Yeah, if you listen to this on Christmas Eve.
Tell
and
us.
I don't know,
And
maybe
if you didn't, then you're not
Oh.
a real fan. So
and maybe there'll be some sort of surprise. I don't know.
you can't just say that
Why not?
because we don't have a surprise.
Try to get the audience engaged,
Okay,
Julianne.
we'll make one. We'll make a
Well,
surprise.
yeah,
First
we'll
to
make
comment on
something.
this video on Christmas Eve
Yeah,
gets a present.
and not anybody including in that. What? Anybody in this room doesn't count.
What?
It
Oh,
doesn't.
like Eli?
Yeah, like if Eli goes
he
and
doesn't
comments.
listen to the podcast.
Oh yeah, that's true. He doesn't listen. And then I don't know if David listens to it before he posts
'Cause he
it. So,
edits it.
yeah, so he's probably tired of listening to it by the end of it. So yeah. Anyway.
Anyway,
welcome.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
welcome
again.
back. We haven't done a regular podcast
Yeah.
video in so
We did
long.
some testimonies. We did if you were watching this, that reminds me. We have to start before we move on with our life.
I don't want to.
You have to. Before we move on with our life, because of our previous episode, Julianne has something to say. Go ahead, Julianne. The floor is all yours.
I know that I have said things about people who like Pepsi. Not very nice things about your life choices, and I am forced against my will to apologize.
No, you brought this upon yourself.
I'm very sorry that I said mean things. That's
Yeah.
all I have to say. I don't want to ever talk about it again. So if you are a youth student or know me personally, please don't come up and talk to me about this. This is the last we're talking about it. So.
And then we can move on with our life, accept our mistakes, and move forward. Yeah.
It's a very embarrassing moment for me.
Thank you for admitting to the audience that we're human. And I'm only human. I don't know the rest of the words for that one.
I do. I actually listened to her before.
Who's her? Who
The
sings
person
it?
who wrote the song.
Who wrote
Her
this
name's
song?
Christina Perry.
Oh.
And I listened to her because my best friend in middle school loved her, and she was like, "You have to listen to her to be cool." And I was like, "Oh, well,
Oh.
that makes sense." Yeah, she wasn't a very good person, but anyway. So I listened to her before, like, she became popular, just because I'm awesome. So
Okay.
it's not a big deal, but it totally
So
is.
now we're going back. Okay. Well, today we're gonna talk about a very real topic. I don't know why I said that. Today we're gonna talk about loneliness.
Aw.
Oh. Okay. Anyway, loneliness. Well, and I think especially right now because of what?
Nothing. I just thought you were talking in Spanish for a second.
What? Did I talk in Spanish?
No,
you
you
should
were just
do an
like,
episode where I talk on Spanish and you talk on English.
I wouldn't understand anything that you're saying.
No, but then I would. So then I would respond. Oh wait, that would be kind of.
But I would say something and then you would
Did you just
respond,
laugh?
and then I wouldn't know what to say back.
That's true. That's true. That's fair.
But yeah,
we'll
sure.
just
we
have
can
those.
try.
We'll just have Google Translate.
Actually, I took 2 years of Spanish in high school, so I'm pretty much fluent, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyways, we're talking about loneliness today.
Yeah, we're talking about loneliness today, and yeah, the effects, I
Yeah.
guess, of loneliness. How, especially during this and this is what we were talking about earlier, is especially because of this holiday season. At least I don't know about you, but I know a lot of people who spend their holidays alone,
Yeah.
or they don't have family or anymore or anything like that. And so, but this is not like going to be like a sad episode, obviously. Yeah, we're going to talk about the effects of loneliness and what it looks like, but also we're going to talk about what God says about loneliness in the Bible. And I think that's going to be more important than anything, and encourage not only hopefully you guys, but ourselves as well. Because yeah.
Side note, look at my pants.
Oh,
They're
look.
sloths.
Wait, what is that?
It's a sloth. They're sloth Santas.
I was about to say
Sloth
reindeer.
Santas. And I just want everyone to know.
Wait.
So that's all.
Sloths, and then you got the reindeer.
Reindeer, yeah.
Oh, also shout out Christina for letting us.
Yeah, use all of
not letting us borrow.
Yeah,
it,
you have no idea that I did this, but I went through your stuff.
But
I took your Christmas hats. So
yeah,
thank you.
Thank you, Christina.
Also, happy birthday. Oh wait.
Oh yeah, happy birthday.
We're filming this on Christina's birthday.
Yeah, we are.
So happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Christina. Hope you're having a great time right now. But by the time you listen to this,
it'll be Christmas. But that's
already.
okay.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Happy Chris. What?
Happy birthday.
Anyway,
so off topic.
As usual.
As usual.
Okay, let's start with this then. Sorry. It was just that David yawned and it was hilarious. Just like Eli laughed earlier. Anyway, I'm so sorry. So, Julianne.
So?
First, what? I'm so sorry. What is your personal experience with loneliness?
Oh man.
And how has God helped you, or is still helping you? Because I know for myself, He's still working on that. Yeah, He's still working on that.
Yeah. I've dealt with loneliness for like pretty much all my life. Well, not all my life. Well, most of like since middle school, which is like a lot of my life.
Yeah.
About
half.
Yeah. Well,
no.
Half would be
about like 6 years then, right? Because you do middle school at like 12.
What is half of 18? That's 9, right?
9, yeah.
That's so embarrassing. I'm so sorry. That's so embarrassing. Anyways, whatever. Like not half of them. Anyways, I'm so sorry. Yeah. I'm so sorry. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, right. Loneliness. Yeah, so in middle school, it was very different from what it is now, because in middle school, like I've mentioned a lot, I wasn't finding like my identity or whatever in God. I was finding it in other people, which made me feel really lonely because I had a lot of different personalities and a lot of different friend groups, but it never felt fulfilling. And I just always would come home and I was like, I didn't feel like I really had true friends or like anyone really knew me.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
That's so loud, David. I'm sorry. It's just really distracting. I need like a fidget or something. Anyways, so yeah, in middle school is very different than it is now, because I was like, again, like I said, I was just, it wasn't like I didn't have friends. It's just like I was such a I was just a different person with every friend group. So it's like I didn't know myself. No one really knew who I was, and it was just like it just felt lonely. And then in high school, I went to a different high school than all of my middle school friends, because again, I was bullied a lot in middle school, and I felt like I needed. It was right when I became a Christian that I was going into high school, and I just felt like I needed a new start with people that didn't know me. But since it was COVID, it was like online school, and I was in a new school, and everything was, well, it started online and then it was like hybrid, but you didn't really talk to anybody except for your like old friends from middle school, which I didn't have any. So it was just really, I didn't have any friends really through any of my high school at all, which was unfortunate. But yeah, I was really lonely my first couple years of high school. And then
oh, yeah.
sorry, I'm so sorry. And then now, all my friends are in college, like in different states,
Yeah.
and I don't have a job or I don't go to school, and so I just sit around a lot, and it's really sad. um, so in middle school, God showed well, I mean, I wasn't a Christian, and he was like, "Oh, I'm here," and I was like, "Whoa!" And then like,
I'm like, what's up?
yeah, that's kind of what helped me get through that was like becoming a Christian and like finding, um, finding out who I was through
Hmm.
like in Jesus really helped me because then it was like, oh, God's my friend and this is who
Yeah.
I am, and that was really helpful. Um, getting through that loneliness and that really hard time because a lot of people were really lonely during COVID, but I was like
You were
I
loving
was
it.
having a great time because I was just, like, in my word for hours every day, like, learning who I was, learning who God was,
Yeah.
and just, like, having God be my friend, like, really made me feel like, I didn't care. I wasn't thinking about other people or, like, friends. I was thinking about other people, but,
But no,
I
yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
thinking
yeah.
about, like, "Oh, man, like, I want more friends," or "I'm sad because I haven't seen friends." Like, I was just, like it was just me and God, and that's, like, all I really needed at that point, and I think that's what really helped me get through that was just having, like, really just growing closer to God and, like, finding out who
Hmm.
he was as my friend and not just as, like,
That's God.
God, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I
Which
get
was
what you mean.
really helpful. This is really low and it's bothering me. Anyways, I'm gonna hold it now because it's just falling. Anyway, and then in high school, I don't remember. Well, I don't remember what I did to like how like I don't
And you
remember.
just went
But
went through it.
it just happened and I was really lonely my freshman year, and then I asked God actually. Oh my gosh. I remember. I kept praying like every day for God to give me like good Christian friends. And then I went and worked at a summer camp and I made like really good friends for that time in my life. They were really good friends for me. Um and then after that, like I was fine for some of high school, and then things happened, and
Yeah.
then that's a different story. Um, but I still think just like keeping God as like my number one is always helpful, and now it's really hard because I used to be able to be like if I was feeling lonely, I was like, oh, can we hang out? Can we go do something? Because being alone and feeling lonely just never goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
So, because then I just like my brain is whatever. So then I would like call people and have them hang out with me, but I don't really because all my friends are gone. So
Yeah.
that's just not really an option right now. So that's really hard, but still, I guess trying to prioritize my relationship with God and like the friendship with Him um is really helpful for that.
That's good.
That was all over the place, but you're
No,
welcome.
it made sense to me. I hope it made sense to everybody else. Um, but
Thank you.
um, yeah. So yeah, for me, it was I don't know. It was it was a slight difference because the way that I dealt with it was like in middle school. In middle school, the way I dealt with it, it was I would go into a group and I would go like go all in into that group, so I can feel like I belong
Mhm.
somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was still when I hadn't really made my decision of like, okay, like God, I'm gonna really follow you. Um, so like in middle school, basketball was the thing that I played basketball all the time, and then played at the rec center after school, played during school. Like that was
Mhm.
my group. You know, and so for me that made it easy. And especially during middle school. I mean, everybody knows during middle school it's just you can't really explain. It's just middle school.
Yeah.
It's like the
Well,
awkwardness
because
and
everyone's changing and
yep,
figuring themselves out,
yep,
so yeah.
yeah. So that really helped me. And then I also went to like a different high school than all my middle school people. All my middle school friends. I think there
All
was
my
only one
peeps.
guy. One guy, shout out John. I don't know if you ever will listen to this, but shout out John. He was the only one that went to my high school that went to middle school with me. And it's funny. Side note, I didn't know that until like my junior year because I didn't see him freshman year or sophomore year.
Oh, it makes sense.
And then junior year, I saw him and I was like, yo, you go to this school? And he's like, yeah, I've been coming here for like the last 2 years. It was really weird. But anyway, it was kind of funny. But yeah, so in high school, I did like the similar thing because I did like band and then did drama and musicals and plays and stuff like that. So that it was like the similar type of dealing with it, you know. And so that had always kind of worked for me. Is whenever I felt lonely, you know, I would lean on to and really dig into whatever I was into at that time. And so that helped me through middle school, high school, and then college as well was the same thing. Um, um, at least for me personally, it didn't really feel like I actually struggled with loneliness, or maybe I just ignored it throughout all these years. But um, it didn't really hit me until after college, until after I moved here. Because when I moved here in the middle of COVID, and I was gonna go to PSU, ended up not going 'cause financial reasons and stuff like that. And then obviously COVID, obviously, and and yeah, like I think for me, that's when I really struggle. Well, I mean, it's still kind of an ongoing thing because I'm so used to dealing with loneliness by finding a group and just belonging and leaning into that group of whatever it is. And so, but I didn't like when I came here, and then you know, I mean, at this point in my in my life, I mean, I hang out with friends and stuff like that. Which I know I say friends, but literally, like my only friends are like either in this room or David and Hannah. That's literally who my friends are. Well, I mean, there's a few friends out there. Shout out Alex, and but uh, but it was a little. It's I've been dealing with it different because I don't have like that sort of thing to distract me from it. You know what I mean? Um, and so that's been really something that I've been working with God, because obviously, I'm 26. This is still pretty early on in my life, and I want to learn. I want to learn how to really lean into Him, because I know this is not gonna be forever. You know what I mean? And so like, I've been really trying to make the effort to really learn how to kind of like access that friend side of God. Not that I don't know He's my friend or that I haven't talked to. 'Cause I talk to Him like a friend all the time, but to feel actually like, um, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like where you don't feel lonely. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
well, I feel like because I have a lot of people that I'm like friendly with,
Mhm.
um, and like I feel like you can be friendly with God, like you can talk to Him like a friend, you know.
Mhm.
But there's a difference between like being friendly with people and like actually pursuing like a relationship with people. So
Yeah.
that's all.
Oh, okay.
That's all.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense. Yeah. So it's been something new for me, um, where I've been trying to not rely on other people or groups or anything like that, and just kind of like press into God to see, because I know, and we're gonna get into it, and we're gonna read the Bible, what the Bible says. And it's funny because when I as I'm saying this, I know all the verses like that we're gonna say, and I've learned them from years ago, and I've said them for
hmm
years. But it's just like it's different when you're talking about it and you're actually thinking about it, where
Yeah.
you're like, "Oh yeah, that's pretty good."
Yeah. Well, because I feel like a lot of times when we like hear verses that like we know, we kind of forget the meaning or
Yeah, what
like
they mean.
yeah, because John 3:16. Like you read that and you're like, for God
You're
so
like, "Oh
loved the
yeah,
world,
give His only Son."
and
Mhm.
then like you're done and you're like, oh, great verse. But like you don't like it's a really good verse if you like listen to it and like think about it, which I think happens a lot
Yeah,
of
it
the time.
happens a lot.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so that's kind of been my thing. It's still kind of ongoing again. And actually, last night I was watching a movie. it wasn't part of the movie, but I think I was watching a movie with Aileen, and she went to go do something, so I jumped on the tac. I'm so sorry, I just said that. Jumped on the
He
TikTok.
means TikTok.
TikTok. I'm so sorry.
People didn't like
And
that.
oh crap, I'm forgetting it.
I can't believe you just said tac.
I don't know why I did that. I'm so sorry, everybody.
It's really embarrassing for you.
Oh. I'm not that old. Okay. I just made myself really old by saying that, though. I'm so sorry. Anyway, oh man. So it was a video. I'm forgetting it. What was I talking about?
You were watching a movie with Eileen, and then she left, and then you opened up Tac.
If I didn't say tac, I would have remembered it. All right, because we were talking about the verses that we don't.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna remember. It was just I'm gonna remember. Anyway.
Right. You're gonna say it in the middle of.
I know. But yeah, so that's my personal experience with it. It's still kind of a work in progress. Thank
Wait,
you.
right? A work in progress.
Work in progress. Thank you, David.
Thanks, David.
Our senior of this room has approved that. Why'd you look at me like that?
I feel like the senior part was so not necessary.
What do you mean? He's like the oldest one of all of us.
Well, yeah, but you don't have to like.
Is that being mean? Was that mean, David?
It's like ageist or something.
No, not what I was saying. I was saying our most senior member in this room.
But he is an actual senior, so
No,
you can't be like, oh, the most.
Not
senior?
yet.
You're not a senior yet.
Well, technically you are.
He is.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, because technically seniors past 55, right? Well, in a lot of places, you get discounts after you're 55.
So he is. Seniors
But
past 55?
yeah.
I feel like that's not old enough.
But then not really, because you can't retire until you're like 65.
So then, okay. It's kind of weird, but whatever.
It is really weird. Anyway, I'm so sorry we went off topic a little bit. But yeah. So I'll remember whatever I was gonna say.
Will you? I'm so sorry.
But let's start with reading Isaiah 41:10. Where are you? I'll be home for Christmas. Okay, Isaiah. I was about to read 40. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on with me. Anyway, Isaiah 41:10 says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Straight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's at least for me. It's yeah. Cuz it's hard, you know?
Yeah.
Cuz I mean God, we talked about this before. God made us to be in community, and God made us to not do things alone, but at the same time part of that
we need though.
Yeah, that and that's my point.
Yeah.
Like, even though he made us to be with each other, he's the priority over anything and anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I was gonna say something.
Go ahead.
Well, I literally don't remember.
Is it because the microphone was falling
yeah,
again?
It's falling because somebody didn't try to help me.
Should we do a tech fix up?
David, do you think it's required? Okay, he thinks it's fine. I'm holding it. It's gonna be okay.
Huh?
Oh my gosh, we only have 15 minutes left.
Oh my god!
We talked too long. Okay, I was gonna say something.
Yeah.
Oh no, my thingy is falling off.
Oh,
I was like,
no.
ow!
Our table.
I don't remember what I was gonna say. Oh, I don't know why I was gonna say this. I'm gonna start talking and then it will probably come to me, but it might not. I don't really know. Anyways, oh, I know what I was gonna say. Okay, I feel like it's hard to remember that God is with you a lot of the times. At least for me, because I can't see Him. Because I'm someone that like, even with like people, I don't like. You can tell me that you like being with me, or I'm a good friend, or you like hanging out with me. But if I don't see you, and if we aren't with each other, I won't I just
That's
can't
fair.
believe you.
Yeah.
And I saw this thing. It was like an ADHD thing. Because and it was saying that like this lady was holding a ball and she was like, you can see this ball and you know that it's here. And then she put it off screen and she was like, you still know that I'm holding it, you know the ball is there. But she said for people like with neurodivergent people, she said, I'm holding the ball and I put it off the screen, but you don't know what happened to the ball. I could have dropped it, someone could have taken it, you don't know where it went. And she said it's the same thing with like people. Like if someone like to you, if I was like, oh, I like being your friend, that would feel nice. And like if I texted you and I was like, oh, I just like appreciate you so much, you'd be like, oh man. And then like when you feel lonely, you'd be like, no, because my friends appreciate me. But for me, it's like if I'm not seeing you regularly and like you could tell me like, oh, I appreciate you, that would feel really good in the moment. But then like 2 minutes later I could just forget. And I'd be like, man, everyone hates me and I'm lonely and like everything is awful. Like I don't like so anyway. So for me, it's really hard. I mean, for everyone, it's really hard to remember that
that's a great
God's
point,
not that God's with you and that He like isn't gonna leave you when you can't see Him, and so we don't feel Him all the time, and so it can be really hard to remember that. But we have really good Bible verses and really good Bible verses that remind us, and it's God's word, which we have to remember.
Yeah,
that like
it's not
God
just
is
like,
it's not just like a nice little quote that we or a daily affirmation we can tell ourselves. Like it's God breathed, like it's real, like true things that He said, and so we can remember. And God never changes His like the things that He says doesn't change. Like He doesn't change. He is God.
and
And so He's not gonna just wake up one day and be like, I don't want to be here for Felipe anymore, so I'm just gonna head out. Like He's not like people. Like some people can just be like wake up one day and be like, I don't feel like doing this anymore, and they can just leave. But God doesn't do that, and I think we can hold a lot of hope in that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said a few weeks ago on a Wednesday where, the Word of God, the Bible, obviously, the Bible, they're
I apologize.
It's true. You know, there's statements that are true. It's not it's not like something that one person just wrote because it sounded nice. It's not like these is God inspired the people who wrote this to write it this specific way for us. Not only for the people back then, but for us right now. And because, it says in the Bible, God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And it's going to be the same thing with the Bible. And you can go throughout all of history, all of our past history right now, and probably most likely, well, in the future as well, where things from back then, at least when they wrote the book, still apply to today. And it's like, and that's how we know that like the statements in this book are 100% true. And especially because they come from God. So it's like a lot of the things everything that He says in this book is true. And so that brings us to the second one, where it's Psalms 27:10. And you kind of touched on it a little bit, talking about like, people can just wake up and just be like, you know what, I'm done, or just make a decision and just leave, or but it says in Psalms 27:10, for my father and my mother have forsaken me, but the Lord will take me in. And so that, you can look at it in a literal way of like your parents, your mother and your father just like being like peace or something like that. But I think the way that it's written, or at least the way that I understand it, is that even the humans that are supposed to love you for the rest of your life, they can still walk out of your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, that's not to be like discouraging, or that's not to be like you shouldn't trust people, or like you shouldn't,
Yeah.
that's not what that means. But what God, at least to my understanding, what he's trying to say is, despite the people that are supposed to love you, they can leave. I will never leave you. I'll
Yeah.
take you in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think it's also important to remember that, like, our identity should not be found in what other people think of us.
Mhm.
Because even the closest people to you, like your mom and your dad or whoever else, like your siblings or your best friend or your significant other, like, those people play big parts in our lives, and what they say about us can mean a lot, but we cannot base our identity off of what other people think, because they have total free will, and they can just wake up one day and decide they
Yeah.
don't want to be a part of your life anymore. They
Yeah.
don't want you a part of your life, and that's gonna hurt. But if we make our identity on what those people feel about us and what they think about us, that's gonna destroy you.
Yeah.
And so what you have to base your identity and your life on the things that God says about you, because then you'll be okay. And like,
Yeah.
you need to make God your number one, because he has to be enough for you.
Yeah.
And I have to reflect a lot on my life and remember, like think about, like, if I didn't have this, would God be enough? Or if I lost this person or this thing,
Mhm.
would I be okay? Like, would God be enough for me? And I think that's something we all have to think about, because anybody can leave.
Mhm.
And but you can't let that, like, it's gonna hurt, because you care about people, and people who care about you, when they just decide they don't want to be in your life anymore, that's really gonna hurt,
Mhm.
because they
Of course.
played a big part of your life. But it will hurt worse if you base who you are
Mhm.
in what they think of you. But we need to base who we are on what God thinks of us, because God chose us, and God thought deeply about what he wanted you to look like, what he wanted you to act like, everything about you, your personality, your heart, like everything. He took so much time to think about, and that's beautiful. And we're so important to him, and we need to be okay if people leave, because people are going to leave, and we need to base who we are in Christ, so that when they leave, we know that he's going to take us in, but we have to be okay with just him.
Yeah, and that's like a whole like obviously like extremist view, and we've seen it in the Bible where God takes away everything.
Job.
Yeah, takes away everything, and am I still enough? You know what I mean? And I think, and I've said the last couple weeks at youth night, I've said this thing where and it kind of goes along with what you're saying, where like we also can't. Let me restart. When people say they can't trust God or they don't trust God, they're basing it off trust of humans, and that makes sense, because a lot of the times that's what we only experience. Is trust coming from humans, and as humans on our our natural form, we're gonna hurt people, whether we do it with purpose or without a purpose, or without intent to hurt someone. But that's the main difference, is that God is not human.
Right.
And God is all knowing, omnipotent, and he chose us.
And he's perfect.
Exactly.
Too.
And so we can't compare humans to God, who is perfect. And so God will never leave you. And he actually means it when he says he'll never leave you.
Because perfect people don't lie. And perfect people don't hurt other people. And so if you believe in the Bible and then you have to believe that God is perfect, which means that you have to believe that he won't leave you and that he's always there for you.
Amen. Yeah, I agree. And so we got one more verse to read.
Yes, we have a very known classic, Psalm 23:4, which is, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. You are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me.
Close. The word has spoken. No, yeah, I mean, that's kind of a reminder, at least for me, that God is going to be there with us through our highs and through our lows.
Yeah.
And humans can do that too. Again, we're not saying that humans will not be there and that humans will leave you and that you shouldn't be scared about that. Life happens, and sometimes that's how life is for a lot of people. But sometimes, at least I know people who have had friendships with people or a relationship with people for a very long time, 40 years, 30 years, 50 years. And yeah, I can guarantee you that throughout all those years, there's been a lot of ups and there's been a lot of downs. There's been times they haven't talked to each other. There's been times where they don't stop talking to each other. And so, we're not saying that you should just close yourself off and not trust humans ever again. But what we're saying is, and it kind of exactly what you were saying earlier, is your identity and your priority should be God.
Yeah.
And not the other humans.
I also think this is kind of off topic. Well, yeah, kind of. But I also think it's important to have friends and to have
Agreed.
I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, to have friends and significant others and just be surrounded by and let in people who love like Jesus loves, because when people love like God, they're not going to leave you when you go through hard times. They're going to stick by your side and get through it with you, even if it is hurtful to them. And even if it's hard for them to watch you go through what you're going through. But if they love like Jesus, they're not going to leave. That being said, don't let people walk all over you either. Don't do that. But when you love like Jesus and you surround yourself with people who love like Jesus, then you don't really have to be afraid of them leaving, because they probably won't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think I'm pretty sure I told you. Yeah, I told you. I told you for sure. But the way that I look at life and friends and experiences is, I know that God's gonna be there for my entire life. And I know that that's not going to change. But I know that, sometimes, and it's happened to me a lot where, I get new friends or whatever. But in my mind, it's like, okay, well, this is a season of being with these friends. And, that may sound depressing of being like, well, you're counting down your days till this time is over. But the way that I look at it as more of a positive thing of okay, God, I know you brought these people into my life for a reason. Let me fulfill that reason. And then whatever happens next.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, in high school and in college, there was friends that I was like, yeah, we're going to be friends forever. And, we've been through so much together in whatever 4 years, 6 years that I've known you. So we're going to be, friends forever. And then life happens, and then you kind of just move on.
Yeah.
And when I was younger, that was really tough for me, letting go of people and letting go of things. But then that's when I kind of learned that, people are here, or people are in my life for a reason and for a season, and I have to be okay with whenever that ends.
Yeah.
And I need to let it end.
Yeah, I do want to clarify. I wasn't saying that if you find godly friends, they're just going to be your friends until the day that you die.
It can't happen, though.
It can happen. But it's more just, you're not going to go through a hard time and they're going to be like, I'm out. They're gonna stick with you, and you probably won't have a big falling out where you guys have this big fight and whatever. It'll probably, if you
We're still trying to figure out our fallout.
Yeah. Felipe and I are trying to figure out how we're gonna not be friends anymore. This big falling out.
We're thinking the podcast is gonna be.
It's gonna be it. Anyway, but you'll probably gradually, as life goes on and you change and seasons change, you'll probably gradually grow apart. But they're never if you have really good Christian godly friends, they'll stick with you in your hard times. And, you know, God should still be your number one, so that if they do end up leaving or they do betray you, because they are people, they're not just, you know, you still have God, and you don't have to be like, why am I all alone and everyone hates me? You know?
Yeah.
Totally get it. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that concludes our episode on that.
It does.
I think hopefully you guys learned something. And Merry Christmas. Oh wait, we have
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Chrysler. Merry Christmas. You know where that is?
No.
It's a Vine. Do you guys know what Vine is? I hope you guys know. Anybody watching.
I don't think the youth will know what Vine is.
I know. I think some of them do. I don't think
they're like Gen Alpha, though.
Well, yeah, but they weren't around. Well, they were around when Vine came out.
But they were like 4 years old.
But yeah, that's what I mean. But like, I'm sure at least one person figured out Vine compilations.
They'll be like TikTok.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
Dang, I remember Vine. That was such a good time.
Anyways.
What are you most excited for this Christmas season? That's our ending question.
I'm excited for so much. My best friends are coming back.
They are?
Yeah, they are.
That's so exciting.
And I'm going to spend every waking moment with them. And I'm so excited. I miss them so much. Abby and Maddie, if you're watching, I love you. I don't know if they watch this, but
if they're watching.
But if you're watching. And just my cousins that live in Tennessee and Colorado are all coming back too when they're spending Christmas with us. So I'm really excited to just like be with people again and like have people around.
That's exciting.
I'm really excited. What are you most excited for?
Well, I'm on the 22nd of December. I'll be going to Mexico with all my family. We're gonna go back. We're pretty much just gonna go to Mexico, where my parents were from, and where most of my family still lives, like my uncles and stuff like that. So we're just gonna be there for like 2 weeks and just kind of do nothing.
That's pretty cool.
That's what you do in small towns in Mexico. You do nothing.
Makes sense.
Because it's amazing. It's so peaceful. And there's no, last time I went, there was still no light posts, right? Like
down the street?
Yeah, down the street.
Oh, okay.
And so like you could see the stars, and it was a sight to see. It was amazing. But I think there's light posts now. So
well,
it's going to be kind of
R.I.P.
Anyway, but yeah, so I'll be gone for a couple of weeks of that, and I'm really excited. And then Monday, Astoria.
We're going to Astoria.
And Tillamook.
Just for fun. The two of us. We're just driving. Just for no reason at all.
So that's exciting too. And then I think that's it. I think that's all I got for now.
It's going to be fun. I hope it snows. Probably won't snow.
It's not
going to snow in Mexico.
I mean,
but I hope it snows here.
I don't know if it's going to snow. I mean, it's pretty cold right now.
It's really cold.
And it was
but
really
we'll probably
cold.
Just get freezing rain like we do every.
Oh yeah, you might be right.
Every year.
Well, hopefully it snows. That would be cool.
I hope so. We got a white Christmas like 5 years ago or something.
That was like 2 years ago.
Like 2 years ago.
It was 2022, I think.
Was it really?
Because I have a video of me.
I hope it snows.
My brother recorded me. I jumped into snow. He was recording me, and I just went wee, and I just jumped on the snow.
That
it was
makes
hilarious.
sense. Bryson's done that a couple times.
Yeah.
Although it's like not that deep at our house, and so he just like smacks the ground. I'm not excited to not have Bryson home though. That's gonna be so sad.
Yeah, I know. Well, Bryson will be back in February.
Every year on my birthday, we get an ice storm, and then I have to cancel all of my birthday plans. It's a horrible experience. So everyone just pray for me that doesn't happen. Or it snows on my birthday, which is nice, but then again, I have to cancel all of my birthday plans.
Or at least it's just light. Or not
yeah, light snow
rain.
would be fine, where we could still drive and like whatever. But freezing rain and like a snowstorm, please pray against on January 16th. Or just the week of.
Just
that whole week.
Let's just bless the entire week.
Please. That would be much appreciated.
All right. Well, again, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And hope you guys have a great time with your family.
Yay.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Yay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.